Oh, good morning, good morning. You got to get all your stuff. Um, I normally don't like to read my thoughts out, but I wanted to make sure I didn't leave anything out. So bear with me as I read my notes today. But first of all, I called this press conference because there's been a lot of buzz surrounding my release and what I plan to do now. Free agency began a week ago. No, Debo, I'm not going to cry. So I see back there he's testing me already. But free agency began a week ago, and some people already had me going to the Dolphins. Some had me out in Arizona with Wiz. I even heard one article that I signed a 3-year deal with Baltimore Ravens, which we know that won't ever happen. But I just want to set the record straight for Steeler Nation and my fans everywhere. My love and passion for this game has given me 14 good years of football with the greatest organization in the world here in Pittsburgh. When I first came into this league, I didn't think I would have such a long and productive career. I am truly blessed. I have accomplished all that I set out to and more. I really have nothing left to prove. But it is my love for the game that makes me want to continue playing. I feel like I have a few more good years in me left to where I can make a difference and help a team. I am a competitor, and I would love nothing more than to get back to another Super Bowl. But that's the passion in me. That's the passion that I have. These past few weeks, I spent a lot of time reading thousands of emails, Facebook posts, tweets, letters, cards, and well wishes from fans everywhere. And as I read them, I was really moved by the tremendous outpouring of love, encouragement, and support from everybody everywhere. It really got to me. Through it all, I realized that there's only one thing that I love more than the game, and that's Steeler Nation. When I think about football, I think about Steeler Nation and the fans. All right. For all the fans, for years who camped out in the parking lots on game days in the freezing rain and snow. To all the fans who traveled all over the world, nationwide, across the country, to cheer us on. The ones wearing my jerseys in Denver, New York, and even Baltimore, and every city that I've ever played in. The ones who voted for me for Mirror Ball, on Dancing with the Stars, and the ones I recently saw in the black and gold, giving me a shout out on the red carpet at the Oscars. It is truly amazing. Without the support, over the past 14 years, this game wouldn't mean the same to me. Wouldn't be as fun for me. You guys meant the world to me. The city and this organization means the world to me. So today, as sadly as it feels to me right now, I hope today will be a good day for everybody here. Today I came back to Pittsburgh to grant Steeler Nation is one last request. So today, I'm officially retiring as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And as much as I will miss football, my teammates, coaches, and everything about the game, I don't want to play it in any other uniform. The black and gold runs deep in me, and I will remain a Steeler for life. Damn, Debo. And as I retire my football career, I want to say some special thank you to people who meant the world to me on this great journey. To the ambassador, Mr. Rooney, you're both great men, and I'm proud to have the privilege of playing for you and the Rooney family these past 14 years. Thank you for giving a small-town boy out of Forest Park, Georgia, a chance to make a difference in this league and to this team. Thank you for taking the chance on me and giving me the opportunity to play for a world-class organization. I will always be grateful to you and for what all you have done for me. To Mike Tomlin and the coaches, and the trainers, and the front office staff, thank you for the instruction and care that you've given me. You go unnoticed to many, but in my book, you have always been there for me. You're the best, and I appreciate you. To my teammates, I want to thank you guys for the great memory, the times we hung together when no one thought we would, for the great times we shared in our victories, the support we had for each other in our losses, and for having each other's back at all times. I would truly miss you guys, my brothers. And last but not least, to my fans and Steeler Nation, no words can express how much you mean to me. Today is what you mean to me. Thanks for all the love and support throughout the OTAs, mini camps, training camp, injuries, Super Bowls, and the lockout, just through it all. You guys have given me the best years of my life, and I will never forget that, never. So as I close this chapter of my life, I want to thank all you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dave.
Open up the questions. Hines, when did you come to the realization that you wanted to do this? How long into the process after the season ended?
You know what? I took a vacation, and there's been some interest, but from other teams, but I just couldn't picture myself playing in any other uniform. I mean, I wouldn't feel right. I've been here for 14 years, so I just couldn't fathom myself putting on another uniform because I know the passion that I displayed on the field, it wouldn't be the same. So,
guy that you're pretty tight with, Jerome, he went through the same thing. Did you turn to him for counsel at all when you were going through this?
A couple of days before I came up here, I told him, and I really just asked about it all, the whole process. Will I miss it? He said, of course you'll miss it. You've been doing it your whole life, but for me, it's not worth going out and playing 1 or 2 years for another organization because deep down inside, my love wouldn't be there for it. So, but no, Jerome's kind of been the big brother to help me, get through it all. But in all, I can say I am a Steeler for life, and that's the bottom line. That's all I really ever wanted, It's a bittersweet, but it was the right thing to do, for me to put on another uniform and just hearing the outpour from fans, Steeler Nation, that meant more to me than anything. So, that's why I made the decision that I did today.
Hines, you referenced the interest from other teams. Did that interest ever get to the degree where you actually had to turn down an offer and say?
No, it didn't even get to that because I just couldn't fathom myself playing for any other uniform. So, there was interest, but that's all it was is interest. I still couldn't fathom seeing myself in anything but black and gold. Look at my tie, look at everything. I want to go down as, one of the greats to wear the black and gold, and that's how it should end. So,
Hines, when you left the field in Denver, did you get the indication that would be your last game in a Steeler uniform?
Of course, the competitive nature in me wants to continue playing, but, I have had a lot of injuries in the past couple of years, so, mentally, you still think you can play. Still to this day, I think I can play. But for me, I didn't think that would be my last game. So it took a lot of time for me to reflect and get away, and I can't talk about other guys and what they've done. I just I wanted to do whatever I could to remain a Steeler, and today I'm making that happen. So I'm happy with my decision. I don't have any regrets. I want my legacy here to say that, he was one hell of a football player who gave it his all. So for me, I've been very blessed. I'm truly blessed to have played in 3 Super Bowls. I won 2 Super Bowls, Super Bowl MVP. I've been to Pro Bowls. What more can a player want out of his entire football career, and to do it all with one organization, and such a world-class organization like this. Just walking by the 6 Lombardi trophies, and knowing that I helped and put in 2 of those, that's what it's all about.
Hines, does a competitive nature in you want to keep you in football, or what are your future plans?
You know what? I don't know. I don't know what. I'm excited to close the chapter in my life in this aspect, but I'm excited about whatever happens on the next part. And so I really don't know. I mean, I don't look for me going out and playing flag football or anything like that. I don't think I won't have that desire, but, I will hope that, I can always have Pittsburgh to come back to walk back in this building and still feel like I'm a part of this organization. Who knows, maybe down the road if I want to get into coaching, Mike Tomlin to sit there, even though he don't think I would be a great coach because he don't think that, the passion that I have, but you know what I would miss most is the relationships that I've had with coaches, players, and everything. So this is the right thing to do, I'm not going to look back on it and say, do I still have that drive to play? But like I say, the young Hines, yeah, I probably wanted to play just to prove everybody that I can do it. But the guy you see before today, I don't have to do that, I don't have to prove nothing to anybody.
Do you remember what it was like the first day you arrived and put on the black and gold? And did you have any doubts that day?
I remember it like yesterday. When I came into the locker room, I seen Jerome and Cordell, and I was almost like a big fan. Like I would call him, man, I see Jerome like 2 lockers down. And getting a chance to look at that uniform and know what that uniform means. Know what that uniform means to this city. It was almost surreal that, I've always dreamt of making it to the NFL, and luckily, Mr. Rooney, they took a chance on me, and I'm very grateful for that. And to be here and play 14 years, not a lot of guys can say that. So I'm very thankful in that. But I do remember the first time putting on that uniform, and not only, putting that on, but playing for the guys before me and continuing that great tradition and playing for this great city that I love. So.
With such a decorated career that you've had 14 years, are there anything that stands out that you remember that you enjoy?
Of course, winning Super Bowl 40. For years leading up to that, all we kept seeing is the teams in the 70s. I think they had a reunion every 5 years, and it was every other year. So looking back, I'm like, you just felt like you was never a part of this organization because we never won a Super Bowl. And there's so many things that played out. The year we won for Jerome, it was where it all started for him, in Detroit. For guys, for, all of us, it was our first Super Bowl ever, and to finally win it, I think we've achieved so many dreams for everybody, for not only our individuals, ourselves, but, for our family, our loved ones, but for the city, growing up as a child, they never experienced the Super Bowls because a lot of them wasn't born in the 70s. So it's that connection. They feel like, hey, I finally feel like, I know what it's like to win a Super Bowl. I mean, this city is called City of Champions, and to be a part of that, it's a great honor to sit there and say that I had some input in that.
Hines, are there any regrets, either team-wise or individually?
The only regret I have is the lockout, my holdout. Looking back on it, I wish it never came to that because, I didn't want to be that type of player. That's only really the real regret that I have. As far as my career, I didn't want to, have a dispute between, the business side of it. And me understanding it today, this is a business. There's no regrets or hard feeling towards the organization or to management or anything. Looking back on it, I am blessed to play 14 years here and to play it, all with this great organization, to only wear one uniform, but that would probably be the only thing that I ever regret doing was holding out that year. And fortunate for me, we ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, so it was almost bittersweet.
Hines, the old guard per se, guys like you, Aaron, James Ferrier, Hokie are saying goodbye. What does that group, this core group, mean to you?
It'd be the end of an era. I mean, we put in a lot of years together, and hopefully, we establish something here for the younger guys to learn what it takes to approach practice. You still can have fun. We joke around all the time, but at the same time, when we step on the field, Coach Tomlin has a great saying, take the field. You leave all the bull junk behind in the locker room. When we step on the field, it's about getting better, and it's one goal, is winning championships. Every year when we approach training camp, our one goal is to win a Super Bowl. A lot of teams in this league can't say that. Some people's goals is just to be 500 or make the postseason. But, our expectation year in and year out was nothing less than a Super Bowl. And, the guys before us, Dermontti Dawson, Levon Kirkland, Greg Lloyd, Jerome, Cordell, all those guys, they taught myself, Kiesel, Aaron, James, what it takes to approach practice each day, to get to that one goal, and that's to win the Super Bowl. And hopefully, while our legacy's gone, and we leave the game, hopefully that we left that lasting impression on the guys behind us. I know the wideouts are going to be in great hands. Full of talent. Hopefully, they can continue the great tradition here in Pittsburgh of just doing whatever it takes to win. And one thing I tried to tell those guys, don't get caught up in stats. The young Hines, I was all about stats because you wanted respect from your peers. But stats do nothing. You can have the greatest stats in the world to never win a Super Bowl. I think the 2 years we won a Super Bowl, I didn't even have 1,000 yards. And yet, I go down in history as being a guy who's won a Super Bowl, multiple Super Bowls. And that's the word that I try to preach to the young guys. Play unselfishly, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with wanting to get the ball and never lose that competitive spirit in you. But at the same time, one person can't win a Super Bowl. It takes all 53 guys putting their hand in the pile and willing to do whatever it takes. And hopefully, I showed that to the younger guys, by going out and blocking my tail off for guys like Jerome and Mendenhall and those guys to get open. But at the same time, when my number was called, be there for my teammates to make a play. And so, those are the values that I instilled in those guys, and hopefully they can continue that tradition.
And those 1,000 catches, in between, there's a lot of great catches in there, but also a lot of great ferocious blocks. That's one of your trademarks. Where did that come from? Or just your mindset on your role as a blocker for this football team?
Well, I learned early. We really didn't have any choice when you had Jerome back there. Of course, you got to give him the ball, and for me, that was a way of me making a name for myself. being on a predominantly run-oriented offense, run-oriented organization, I learned at an early age that was my role. Of course, you're envy of guys who catch 100 balls, but you got to think, before I got here, the record here was 85 catches, that's nothing nowadays compared to back then. But, that was my role on the team. In my first 3 years, in order to stay with this organization on this team, I had to play special teams and do the dirty work, but I know that, Jerome and all the guys who I blocked my tail off, they appreciate it. And I think the offensive line, seeing a guy who's 200 pounds out there blocking linebackers and DNs and stuff, I think it's a trickle effect, The biggest honor that I have was, the defense has a little highlight tape, and at the end, I was on their defensive highlight tape, and our defense, I've always said, is always the reason why we won a lot of championships, gave us the opportunity to win a lot of championships. So for me to be on their highlight tape, that was a huge honor for me, and to see that, So I know those guys appreciate it, and for me, to be on a defensive highlight tape, that meant the world to me.
Guys, how about 2 more questions? Hines, given the connection you've referenced to the city and the fans and so forth, have you given any counsel to Mike Wallace as he's facing his decision as to what to do?
One thing I told Mike, you may get a chance to go other places, but there's not a special place like Pittsburgh. Like I said earlier, just driving. That's what I'm gonna miss most, driving to the games, seeing the family start their tradition off. As a child, you're born with the terrible towel, and going out and seeing the tailgating, with your family, you grow into that. When you have kids, you're seeing your grandparents out there. That's a special bond that this city has. Now, being that I played here and for 14 years and haven't played in any other organization, I don't know how other teams do it. So for Mike, I'm always going to be Mike's biggest fan, but it is a special place to play it here, and I've been very blessed to have played all 14 years here. So I just told Mike just to look at it in that perspective, I wouldn't know what it's like playing for any other organization. So, but I hope he stays. I would love to see him continue the rich tradition of wideouts here. He's an explosive guy, and the sky's the limit for Mike. And I think Mike can do great things. I hopefully sign back and continue, because I would love to see him have success here and carry on that tradition.
Final one for Hines.
You've seen in 14 years in your career the game change an awful lot. How would you say the game has evolved, and do you like the game the way it is now, or when you came in back in '98?
I just love the game, period. For me, I've been here when we were a run-oriented team. When Tommy Maddox here, I think, Plex and I think we both had over 1,300 yards, and that's when we were a passing team. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning championships, regardless of, people say the Steeler way is running the ball. The Steeler way to me is winning ball games and winning championships. By any means necessary, just going out there and getting the job done. So, to me, it's kind of crazy, because as a receiver, you would envy somebody who want to be in a passing offense. But, at the end of the day, if that's not the way, if that didn't help us win a Super Bowl, then it didn't matter. I think the only thing that matters to us players is we can say that, we won a Super Bowl. And I think that's the reason why we play this game today. It's not about stats. Brett and James and those guys, they don't have to worry about how many stats. You can go to Pro Bowls all day, but if you never won a Super Bowl, none of that means anything. And that's the reason we play this game. And the older we get, we know that our window of opportunity is less. And so you want to make sure all the younger guys, because when you're young and you have success, you think you can just go back there at all times. I look at a guy like Jerome, played his whole career and finally got the opportunity and was blessed towards the end of his career. And that meant the world to me, to help him achieve that goal, not only for myself, but, growing up as a single family, a single child from a single mother, these were my brothers. So anything that I could do on and off the field, I got excited about that. So, winning that Super Bowl for him and I will always have that special bond that no one can ever take away. When I come back and I see the guys and to the day, that's something we can share because we all cherish that experience together, and I think that's what I'm going to miss most about those guys, seeing them on a day-to-day basis. But I know whenever I come back in Pittsburgh or if I pick up the phone and call, they will be more than welcome to lend a helping hand to reach out to me. And I think more than anything, that's what I'm going to miss, as I retire today. Like I said, those memories will last a lifetime for me, and it's something that no one can ever take away from me. So, is that it? Thank you guys. Appreciate it.